Okay, DC just announced a new Batman writer, and it's Matt Fraction. Matt Fraction is one of the glorious disciples of the Warren Ellis forms, which are a rabbit hole within themselves. Fraction is most famous for that Hawkeye comic, a comic that I didn't finish because I just really didn't like it at all. Great artwork, but it's just Obama-era hipster nonsense. Let's go read Mark Waid's Daredevil while listening to NPR, before watching an episode of Monster Factory, and finishing the night off with Lena Dunham's Girls, while laughing about the idea of someone putting avocado spread on their toast. Like that's a novel idea somehow. Things are gonna stay this way forever. But yeah, I haven't exactly loved any of his work, but I'd bet he's a more competent writer than Zdarsky, who has now moved on to another failing Captain America book. Well, we'll see how that goes. Biggest fear is that Fraction will have like 10 issues and then suddenly it's another sequel to Grant Morrison's Bat Saga. Grant Morrison's Bat Saga is one of the best and most interesting Batman runs ever. It spanned 4 different books, went through Final Crisis and through the New 52, and ended up being one of the most thoughtful looks at Batman as a cultural figure ever. So every book after it feels like it needs to just go off of it. Batman and Robin ended up closing loose ends from the Bat Saga, and Tom King's Batman had its moments, but it was trying to do its own thing, kind of critiquing the idea of the Bat God. Then James Gunn started running DC and said that Morrison's Batman and Robin was his favorite Batman comic, and then we had like Batman Incorporated, Zdarsky's run, Flamingo showed up in the Catwoman book, and Ram V's Detective Comics, all functioning as like sequels to the Bat Saga. 2 of these were running simultaneously. Ram V's Detective Comics is the best out of the recent Batman runs, but it is flawed, mostly because the main villains, the Orgums, are kind of uninteresting. The book is more interesting when it's dealing with Toothface or Barbados. I remember Ram V in an interview saying he plans out the first half of a run and then lets the second half write itself. And you can tell that with how much momentum is lost in the second half. That being said, Ram V is probably the best writer working at DC Comics at the moment, so it's better than the past couple runs. I still like it. It's still a good book. It does fall into the trap of continuing off the Bat Saga with Dr. Hurt, Flamingo, Barbados. The annual, which was easily the best issue of the series, just does the same thing as Return of Bruce Wayne and having this everything in the multiverse is Batman and all time there's Batman shit. It's better than Everyone Has Zur-En-Ars and shit. It's like a 7 out of 10 run, but it's better than Zdarsky's. They're rebooting Batman with a new #1 with the start of this new run. They say it'll have a new aesthetic, but it'll just have Jorge Jimenez's same art, but the suits are colored differently. I mean, I love his art. I like it more than Dan Moore's art. I'm happy they're bringing the blue and gray suit back, but it doesn't work as well without the yellow emblem. The fact that the yellow emblem has almost completely been forgotten in Batman designs is a curse that needs to be reverted. Even Tim Burton understood that that was a key to the Batman's character design. I mean, is this really a bold new direction? Really? Changing the costume and the Batmobile? It doesn't matter, I'll read it anyway, probably because I hate myself. It's gotta be better than Gwen Stacy coming back from the dead as Gwenpool right after Rob Liefeld boycotted working from the company ever again. Thank you, Marvel. I came to the revelation recently that I hate Batman, not because I actually hate the character, but he's just been done to death. What if Batman had an origin story where he had to learn to trust people, meet Catwoman, and fight gangsters? Oh, that's been done a million times. He's been done to death the same way Robin Hood or Sherlock Holmes has been done to death, and he hasn't even entered the public domain yet. Maybe that's a testament to the character or proof that creative should experiment and use other DC characters that aren't Batman or Batman related. Like honestly, like when I read a Batman comic, it feels like I'm wasting time. Since I don't want to be negative and also not waste your time, I want to recommend Batman Creature of the Night by Kurt Busiek. It's a book about a kid named Bruce Wainwright who grows up loving Batman comics and his parents get killed. He lives a similar life to the real Bruce Wayne, but his anger at his parents manifests in the form of a dark, powerful, vengeful, bat-like creature. It's a fascinating character piece about grief and the quest to become a better person than you are. The art by John Paul Leon is fantastic, and it's one of the most interesting takes on Batman I've read in years. Go give it a read. It's a great comic book. And as for the Matt Fraction run, I don't know. Get hyped, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, later.